Hello, Sari. Hey, Darius, welcome in. Hello. I am just now getting set up. Running a little late today. Just on your way home today was the pride parade. Oh, okay. That's cool. I haven't seen that around here. Oh well. Probably not going to ever happen around here. It's just going to be a little bit of home cooking, really. We're going to be working on a French dish, actually. Something about the lighting in here doesn't look right. Quite figure what it is. We'll be ready in a couple minutes. If y'all can hear a noise in the background, tell me and I'll stop it. It should have been done by now, but the dishwasher's running. Been in this house since 2001. And I don't know how long the actual dishwasher takes to run. Probably should pay more attention to that, huh? About to click over it. Oh, me, oh my. It's been a long weekend. I think we're about ready to start. Let me see. Go ahead and collect up a few things here so we can get going. We're also doing a little bit of research and development. I found been wanting to try. I already tried one, and we've already been very, very sorely disappointed. But I wanted to try and find an inexpensive but actually good ceramic coated frying pan because it's very difficult to cook eggs on stainless. And the black iron is still not really seasoned up enough to really do that. So I got a $21 pan from Walmart. And so far it's worked pretty well, and we're going to give it a try. All right. Let's go ahead and get our ingredients together, shall we? So for this one, this is a potato and leek soup. This is a traditional French one. For this one, we're going to be using Yukon Gold potatoes, our somewhat waxy ones. I literally bought these Friday and there's a bad one in here. That's great. We're starting off this session, right? Aren't we? Okay. So we've got our Yukon Gold here. And of course, we have to get our leeks. These, of course, are just big fat onions. should be about it. Come on, turn off. Anyway, let's see what else we got. We need garlic. I used the last of the old garlic yesterday, making that dish that I think I posted in Discord. Hold on. There we go. Now it's posted in Discord. That was just what I could come up with what I had in the freezer last night. All right, we need chicken or vegetable broth for this one. I'm going to use chicken broth. So we'll use the reduced sodium here. This is just the store brand. We need a couple of bay leaves, some thyme, salt, so let's get those. Probably is better for you to use the fresh, but I don't have that, so we'll use the dried ones. Oh, you know what? I did forget something. Hold on just a second. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry, got something important there. Drop any time now. Come on, machine. Sorry. Okay, we were getting some time, I believe. So some fresh thyme here. I'm not going to use the powdered stuff for this. I need a teaspoon of salt, which I'm not going to use. I'm going to use about half that. And a quarter teaspoon of ground black pepper, which I am going to probably double. So let's go ahead and get that. There we go. Fresh is always best. About a half teaspoon there. Then we also need some butter and some cream. For those that don't know, when you get a pack of butter, it actually, and you're using the sticks, it actually has the markings on it for you. You need 3 tablespoons, which is about a third, a little less than a third. Don't want to use too much. And we've got our cream here. We're going to use about a cup, so this is about half of this. I'm going to check the weight on these potatoes real quick. That one's about 12 ounces. That one's about 10 ounces. That's a little over a pound. About a pound and a half, pound and a quarter actually. So we'll use that, that's fine. And then we also need some chives. Normally I'd use that little cup of dried ones, but I went ahead and got fresh ones for this. So we got fresh chives. That's pretty much it. This is not too hard of a recipe. We just need to do a little bit of prep work. That's about all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. We'll get a picture of this, and then we'll post that in our Discord. Of course, anybody that wants to get into Discord is welcome to do so. The recipes are there, and you're welcome to them. Let's go ahead and get started getting this stuff ready, huh? Get ourselves a few bowls here. Now, since we are already dumping the salt and pepper in, we'll just do it this way. Set it off to the side. I didn't even need that frying pan today, now that I think about it. Now the chives are for serving. But we'll go ahead and chop those up first. That ought to be more than enough. All right, so there's our chopped chops. We'll go ahead and put those on the side here. Next up is our potatoes. Now these need to be washed and they need to be peeled, and I'm going to do that over the sinks. Just a minute. Hey Dio, hello, how you doing? It's supposed to be done half an hour ago. Okay. So here are our potatoes. These are our Yukon Gold. Yep, sure am. This is a French dish. It's potato and leek soup. We're just going to roughly cut these into cubes, basically. Don't try to keep them even if you can. Some will cook faster than others if you don't. One. Hey, DR, welcome in. Yeah, this is a pretty timeless one. Very easy to make too. All right, there we got about a pound of potatoes there. Now, this recipe is actually meant for like twice as much, but as we've seen recently, that's not a good idea. When I make twice as much, I have twice as much trash. So it ends up going in the trash. I love how the image is just delayed in comparison to the sound. Is there a lag? I wasn't aware. Not by much. Oh, okay. Well, one of the tricks that I do is change the resolution back and forth once, and then there's also the time delay thing that you can set on and just turn it on and off. There really shouldn't be any problem here because I'm running on fiber right now. Next up is our cream. We need, I said a cup earlier, but a cup was for the full recipe, so we need half a cup. Put in a little extra there. We've also got a couple of chicken dishes today. We may pick one, we may pick both. Just depends on time. Okay, next up is our leeks. Now we don't want this part of it. We only want the bottom half. This whenever you were slicing the potatoes, the image of the knife cutting board would. Oh, slightly noticeable then. I haven't used leeks very much. I've only done like 1 or 2 recipes with these in the past. As far as I can tell, these are just giant spring onions. Ramen, not soup, so you can still keep the leaves or stir fries. Oh, okay. I don't know how well that'll last though. I seem to be having a big problem last couple of weeks with quality around here. This should probably be a pretty decent cut for this. We don't want to turn it into dust, but we don't want to leave it real rough either. Ah, it's making a mess. The side. Yeah, I could do that. Stuff tends to display when I do that. There you go. There you go. I don't mind. It's fine. Heck, you remember the last time I did a sushi show? Were you here for the last sushi show, Tia? No, you don't think you were? And somebody from a professional restaurant came in and was telling me how to speed it up and how to roll it a little better. I was fine with that. Actually, he's the reason I got a better knife. Nah, it's fine. Hey, I've had some interesting intrusions before, and they've all turned out to be interesting. I think you missed the day that somebody tried to prank us with the Gordon Ramsay bot. That one was great. That actually got me for a minute. Yeah, there. Somebody popped into chat, started following it, and said, it said it was Gordon Ramsay. But then we checked into it real quick and found out it was a bot. All right, this calls for 3 cloves of garlic, but these cloves of garlic are huge, so I'm not going to use 3. I'm just going to use 2 because that's half the bulb. That's probably too much right there. Yeah, I don't like the little ones either. So we're going to, the first step for the cooking for cooking this one is to melt the butter, and then add the leeks and garlics and stir fry them a little bit until they're soft, and then we add everything else. So let's go ahead and do that. Put the garlic in here with the leeks. So it looks like this one's not going to be a big mess of a recipe either. Downside of this is I can't just crush it to peel it. That is one solid clove of garlic. Might have to perform surgery on this one. Oh, maybe not. Okay. This is the kind of garlic that you use for those Japanese recipes where they call for you to cut it into little strips like this and literally fry them on the grill. This we do want a fairly fine chop. That ought to do it. That is a lot of garlic and onion there. That's the biggest I can get. So that's what I would use. I'm in a small city. I have to substitute. All right, let me bring this over here. We're going to use our Dutch oven. This one. All right. You're adding onions to leeks? No. That's garlic. Okay, that was garlic. No onions. Let me get y'all repositioned here. And with this one, the thyme is not to be stripped and left in it. It's to be cooked within it. There we go. Okay. Let me get our ingredients here ready and I'll start warming this up. a very simple recipe. Just start off with just melting our butter here as it warms up. We're just going to fry our leeks and our garlic until it softens up a little bit. It's going to take a minute for this to warm up. Alright, there we go. It's starting to sizzle a little bit. We're just going to add our garlic and our leeks. We're just going to cook this for about 5 to 10 minutes until it softens up. Hey, Wheelie, welcome in. How are you doing today? Big old chunk in there. There we go. We got a pretty decent coating of our butter now. We don't want to brown them though, we just want to soften them. How are you doing this weekend, Wheelie? Those have got a nice color to them. Smell too. We'll let these sizzle just a couple more minutes here. Hey Frost Glacier, welcome in. How are you today? There is one bit of this that I can't do exactly right. Now this soup is actually supposed to be cooked and then kind of smoothed, meaning that you're supposed to use a immersion blender in there. I won't be able to do that because I don't have one, but what I will do is I will have to put it into the blender and then blend it and then roll it out. So this is going to be a very smooth soup, a very consistent one. The cream does not go in immediately. It goes in more or less near the end. I'm going to pull that to the side here. Whoops, got a little warm. All right, let's go ahead and add our potatoes. Our salt and pepper. Ah. And in this case, our chicken broth. We're also going to add our bay leaves now. We're going to add a couple of sprigs of thyme. We're going to leave these whole. We'll remove them before we put them in the blender. I'm going to put a couple more in there because these are small. I'm doing okay. I'm doing just fine, thank you. Put that back in the refrigerator. this up to a boil. As soon as we do, we'll set a timer and then we'll start working on the next one. About 15 or 20 minutes of a simmer. I might even try, I'm thinking about trying something today. I've got this new pan, which supposedly is absolutely 100% non-stick. Doing a little R&D work here. It really is 100% non-stick. I should be able to do something that I've never been able to do. We may just try. Somebody's going to be very mad at me, but we'll try. Pretty good. It's going to take a little while to get that up to a boil. The stove is old, very old. Next up, we've got a chicken dish. It's more of a chicken and pasta kind of thing with some fresh veggies. Nothing very difficult. This is something you can do very easily during the week and not spend much money on. But we do need to wait until we get that up to a boil so I can cover it, and we'll switch back. I love how these I love how these recipes call for standard sizes of cans and things. Um, the standard sizes that these are calling for have all been shrinkflated. Like the cans of soup used to be 12 ounces, then they became 11, and then they became 10 and 3/4, and now they're 10 and a half. And it's calling for a 10 and 3/4 can. Oops. Get close to a boil yet? We're getting there. Once we get it up to a boil, we're going to turn it down to low and then set our timer. Then cover it, and then come back up. We'll come back over here and work on our next dish. So we just need to give it another couple minutes. I typically always use this time when I'm normally cooking, if I'm normally cooking without streaming, to get everything washed up, cleaned up, do the floors, things like that. That already smells great. Looks like that's going to be at least 2 to 3 rounds in our blender today. My goodness, how long is this going to take? Oh, down to about 3 or so. Cover it. Now I'm going to set my timer for about 15 to 20 minutes. It usually takes a little longer here. So we'll set it to 20 minutes. Now we'll move on to our next really simple dish for today. All right. So for this one, is just basically a very inexpensive chicken and bow tie pasta recipe. This is one you can pretty much do anytime during the week. So what we have here is we have 1 box of bow ties. These are just standard little pastas. It calls for 16 ounces, but this is only 12. So shrinkflation got you again. We have a red bell pepper. We have 2 cans of cream of chicken soup. Now this again is the same problem. This is 10 and a half. It's calling for an 11. Then we have about 4 tablespoons, which is a 1/4 cup of butter here. It's a little bit more than that here, so we'll use all but like the last little bit. Now we also need 2 cups of frozen peas and some milk and garlic. I've got a big old bag of frozen peas here. I love using these in all sorts of recipes because they won't keep if I do it any other way. So keeping them in the freezer is the best idea for me. We need about 1.5 cups of 2% milk. I bought a whole half gallon, mainly because they didn't have anything else. So we've just got the store brand 2%. We also have about 2 pounds of chicken now, and I'm going to not use 2 full pounds of chicken. We're going to use a little less. It does call for garlic powder on this one. Now, normally I don't like using that. I prefer to use fresh garlic, but in this case, I'm going to do it. I want to see how this works. It's calling for 1 teaspoon, but this is pure garlic powder here. It is not salt. We've also got a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So we've got about 1/4 teaspoon of pepper and about the same in salt. Not that much. That's probably a little bit more, but that's fine. Then we need 2/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan. And then if you want to use it, you can use some chili flake. I'm of course going to. We need 2/3 of a cup of Parmesan. I went ahead and got the threaded and not the ultra cheap powdered stuff. I believe that's it, except the chicken, of course. This is actually the chicken I got a couple weeks ago for the last recipe, and I just ended up having to freeze it. Hopefully it's not still frozen. It's been in the fridge for a day now. And this is it. This is going to be a relatively easy one. It's going to be a little bit on the cheesy side, a little bit on the salty side, a little bit on the sweet side. So it should be a very, very simple, very easy dish. Now we've got roughly a little over 1/8 pounds of chicken here. So I'm just going to use 3 of these breasts, and I'll just use 2 small ones. And then the one big one here, we're putting it back. Yeah. No, we're going to need it for the next recipe. That's right. I started to say I was going to put it back in the freezer, but I can't do that. It's already been frozen twice. So let's go ahead and get started prepping. Well, let me get a picture. Let's say start prepping, but we need to do the pictures first, because I always forget. And I have been catching up on our pictures lately and making sure that our recipes are posted. Almost everything's done. I haven't got 18 tons of pictures on my desktop anymore. Alright, like usual, I'm going to check this one real quick. Yeah, okay. This is a very simple recipe. Basically, your only requirement here is to cook the chicken first, and then you dump everything else into it and cook it. That's it. This is something that you could do very, very easily on a weeknight with just a few minutes worth of prep work. All right, so let's go ahead and get this stuff done and measure it out. Before I open that, go ahead and get our pepper done. And again, anybody that wants to get any of these recipes, there's several hundred. Well, 200 anyway. You're welcome to join the Discord. It's going to take me a little while to get you in, because we manually verify, make sure that it's not a bot or troll. That's all. Had a pepper within a pepper. Pepperception. Now these we're going to dice. We need about a cup of the pepper here. They're not. These little chafing dishes here are exactly the same size. All we have to do is fill up the chafing dish. Maybe one more strip. There we go. Now we need, come on. 2 cups of the frozen peas, 1/4 cup of the butter, okay. We do need to cook the bow tie pasta first. So while we're doing the rest of this, I'm going to go ahead and heat this up, start cooking it. I'll use what I've got. I don't have the whole amount, but it'll be fine. I'm going to check our soup as well. Looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to heat the water up for the bow tie pasta and let it get up to boiling. While that's going, we'll get the rest of this ready. And for this, we need 4 tablespoons. This is primarily going to be used for cooking our chicken. We need 2 cups of our peas, so we'll go ahead and get that measured out. I need to get those back into the freezer. I tend to use bags like this quite frequently. I don't use a lot of them for a lot of things. We end up just needing them for X amount for recipe. So it's convenient to keep them like this. Keep frozen broccoli for that reason too. Sometimes you only need 3 or 4 pieces. Okie dokie deal. Alright, that's the milk. It's rather warm in here. I don't want to leave stuff like that out unless I have to. For the milk, we need 1.5 cups. Forgot I had these for a little while because I never use them. This will be a bit of a creamy dish. A little higher calorie. Which is why I'm not going to eat a lot of it. I'll have to give some of this away. Wow, it's getting hot in here. Oh, it's 86 in here. What do you know? For you European folks, it's not 34, I think. I need 2/3 of a cup of the Parmesan. There we go. Alright, start chicken. I don't want to use this board or this knife. For that. You can see how hot it is. The butter's starting to melt. Okay. Ollie board out. And our original knife set. I am actually going to use a little less chicken. I actually need some of this for the other recipe, the final recipe today too. Oh my god, it is still 3/4 frozen. This has been sitting in the refrigerator for 2 days. Plus side, mostly frozen means easier to cut. Downside, that hurts. Will mean that we'll have to heat it up a little more slowly.
Right. Extra.
Hey Jindal, welcome in. How you doing? Sort of woke up. All right, that is our alarm for our soup. it's just going to have to simmer a few more minutes until I get this chicken done, because I got to wash my hands and I don't want to do this twice. Yeah, I think 2 is enough. We don't need 3. The minute I opened that curtain, house air conditioning just turned on. I guess it really was hot enough in here to trigger it. I didn't realize it until I looked over there. Jindal, it's 87 in here. And I didn't notice until about 30 minutes into it. Hey, hello, Hiko? Yeah, that's right. The soup's the one that I'm getting ready to start working in the blender here in just a second. This is the and more part. We've already done phase 1 of the soup. The soup has been simmering now for about 20 minutes. We're getting ready to pull that out and then put it in the blender. So that's the next part. This is a classic French recipe. Let me switch back over to the stove and we'll switch to that one now that the hands are clean. All right. So now, it doesn't say to do this, but I'm doing it. I'm going to fish out these bay leaves and the thyme sprigs because we don't want those in the blender. It looks like all the thyme fell off, so. Guess there'll be some green bits. I think that's it. Okay. Let me check our firmness here. Oh yeah, they're nice and soft. That's good. 15 minutes on the pasta. We'll do a little less than that because it's still going to require us to cook some of that chicken soup with it. We'll go with 12. It's pretty good too. So far, we'll see. Now comes the annoying part. This blender is meant for putting hot stuff in it. However, I want that to cool down for a few minutes. I'm trying to keep the mess down today. I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. That is a very hot, very heavy cast iron pot. I don't want to try to grab it. But maybe this in one batch. I think we will. Believe it or not. Alright, gonna have to try. Oh boy, here we go. Got it. Now we're just going to run this through the blender on low until it's nice and smooth. Hey Dio, welcome back. Alright. That looks like a very, very decent looking soup there. Look at that. I'm not overly certain what the consistency is supposed to be. All the recipe says is if it's too thick, do this. If it's too thin, do this. I'm going to take that to mean to your taste. Now, we do need to bring the heat back up. It's still quite hot. I did set a timer, correct? I did not. So we're going to bring this back up to a simmer, and I'm going to add cream to it. Looks pretty good. I don't know what that was, but thank you. I'll be there in just a second. We've still got some thyme and some herbs in here, so those are going to be little specks. But that's fine. To me, that consistency looks pretty good. Let's get that up to a simmer so we can make sure we get the milk done. Oh, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Okay. Add the heavy cream, bring it to a simmer, and then salt and pepper if you need to. And then we just decide on what thickness we want. Personally, I think it's a little bit on the thick side. It looks good though. We'll add the last little bit of our broth though. That won't hurt anything. A little less waste. I end up having to throw that out. I hate it when we do that. Alright, next up will be our chicken dish. As soon as that pasta's ready here, we'll start on it. Oh, they added a little note here that you can actually freeze that soup without the cream in it for about 3 months, and then you can defrost it and add the cream. I'll add that note in my instructions as well. I'll put in a little bit more. I always modify these a little bit because I need to make sure that the salt and the seasoning levels are adjusted, because a lot of things are not good for me. Pasta's almost done. Start to steam up a little bit. We don't want that boiling in any way, shape, or form. We just want it to simmer a little bit. For those that haven't been in here for very long, I do cook every week. At least I try to. Sometimes we just overrun, but almost always it's on Saturday. It just depends on whether I have events to do or not. Sometimes I'm also running events and other things, but I do try to cook at least once a week. I've been doing this for a while now. I've done about 200 or so recipes. I really don't know the actual count because I didn't bother to count. And my goal really is just to help people learn a little bit, understand that it doesn't have to be like on the all the shows you see on TV. You know, people racing for this and racing for that. You can cook for yourself. It's not that hard. And a lot of things that you think are very expensive and difficult, you can make a few little substitutions, drop one thing here and there, and you can make very delicious dishes for very little money. And I only really started picking up the low-cost end of it in the last year and a half. Up until then, I was just cooking whatever I felt like cooking. Which means I did some things that were pretty wild at first. I also happened to be pretty decent at Indian cooking as well. I've been working with a lot of people from India for a long time, so I've learned a lot of their techniques, at least from their wives. All right, we just about got it up to temperature. Pasta is almost done. There's not quite enough water in here. Oops, it's a good thing it wasn't the full box. We're right at time for it as well. Our timing may not be too bad today. It does look pretty well done. It's going to cook a little more as well because we're going to be mixing it in with our condensed soup and a few other things as well here in a few minutes. I am a bit of an old school cook. I learned from my parents, and they weren't always the best. Nobody ever is the best, unless you're just a professional. But you know what? It's not that hard. Just before all the prices started going crazy on everything, I actually had planned an episode called Learning Thermidor. I was going to sit here with a frozen lobster, thawed out obviously, and try to make lobster thermidor. That was going to be a show because I've never done that. You wouldn't believe how expensive that is if you've ever seen it on a menu before. You'd know. But the funny thing is that the ingredients for it, other than the lobster itself, really not that much. I was going to blow the lid off that one. Oh, wow. I'm not going to add any salt to it. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. That's about it. I know for most everybody else, they're going to want to add salt to that, but again, for those that are new, I have high blood pressure, so I've learned to eat very, very little salt and appreciate food for what it tastes like naturally. It's not that hard. It's just that once you've eaten so much processed food and so much fast food, it's very difficult to break away from it. All right, let's pull this pot off and start working on our chicken, shall we? Some foods need salt, yes, but they don't need a lot of it. My point is the 1 teaspoon, if I remember right, is like 1,000 or 1,300 milligrams. Let me check. I'm not saying food doesn't need it. I'm saying that adding the excessive amounts that people are used to is bad. If you're not allergic to it, you can always use MSG, which has a lot less. And funny number for those that know. Come on. So 40% of salt is sodium. Three grams is 1,200 milligrams of sodium. Three grams is 0.6 teaspoons. Also makes shit good, yeah. 3 grams is a little over half a teaspoon. That's 1,200 milligrams of sodium. To a dish that you're going to have 4 servings for, that's 300 per serving. That is my actual limit. That is my limit. Is 300 per meal. So there's some kind of perspective for you. Okay, let's switch back over here. Well, no, we're going to stay at the stove. We're going to stay at the stove. I'm just going to switch pots. Cover this one and let it sit so it stays warm. And we're just going to drop our stainless one on for our chicken. We're going to go straight into the next recipe. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil here. Oh, Jingle, since you're here, this is the pan I ended up getting. I can't really back it away from the camera too much. This was $21. 12-inch ceramic. So we're going to try it out. Oh yeah, give me that MSG. Yeah. We don't need all the salt. We don't need need all that sugar. Yeah, that's the other thing. We're going to start with our chicken for this one. Because I'm going to have to use this condensed chicken soup, I'm not going to be adding, same problem, I'm not going to be adding salt to it because each can of this is 900. And there's 2 cans in this. So that's kind of cutting my limit. Again. Hey, Vin, welcome in. Hello, how are you doing? Let's see. You know, I was test driving that car that I was looking at buying, and I got passed by a piece of chocolate doing 90 miles an hour on the motorway. It was a Ferrari Rocher. Doing great. I knew Dio was going to say that. He says it every time. All right, for this one, we are going to start off by cooking our chicken. And we do want our chicken to be done. And we are going to add our red pepper and our butter here, along with the chicken. And I am probably going to add the spices to it as well. I added a little bit of oil, but I'm adding the butter too. Because I forgot how to have it up with the oil in there. I do make mistakes too. Coincidentally, these are the full-size garden peas that I got, not the little tiny one. I know there's 2 different brands. That joke was actually a little poignant, Dio. Whittick, hello, welcome in. Thank you, Jindal. How are you all doing? Welcome in, everybody. Stubby, hello. How are you all doing today? Thank you so much for the raid. You missed our first one, but we're working on our second dish now. Making YouTube work. How are you guys doing? What were you playing? Let me see. Why did you shout me out? Dang it. Just because I'm using the old bot. Oh, working on Dark Souls. Okay. Ooh, and number 2 at that. Oh my goodness. I saw you playing it. I didn't know which one it was. I know Afters told me that Dark Souls 2 was literally the hardest one. So, good on you, I guess. Was that the one you were playing yesterday when you were trying to evade them going down the ladders? Probably was. Alright. We're going to have some very tasty chicken here with all that extra butter. I'm having a good day today, right? All that residual heat just melted it without me noticing. Now I gotta turn it back up. Welcome to an episode of I'm Not Gay. Oops. I should probably figure that out. Dude, I do. Today's not been a perfect day for me. I can feel it heating up. Yeah, it's starting to cook a little. But we don't try cooking chicken on cold pans. Let's get that up to heat first. Playing it yesterday, but so far the beginning, all I had was internal screaming. After has been challenging me to play those games. Now I am absolutely terrible at games like that. I cannot do FPSs at all. I don't like them. But what I may do, I have one called, similar to that. It's called Mortal Shell, I believe. I may make some sort of goal out of it. Y'all can force me to play it. There we go. We're back up to temperature. Make sure you get your chicken well coated. Normally I would put salt and pepper on this, but we've already got a lot of salt and pepper in here. So I'm just going to let this go a little bit here. I might go ahead and just add a little bit of our spice mix here. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's do that. This is garlic powder, pepper, salt, and red chili. Now, in this case, with this recipe, we want our chicken to be fully cooked before we mix in everything else. Oh yeah, Mortal Shell is fun. It's a nice little game. Yeah. Okay. If you're not doing it, and this I guess is for everybody, if you really want to play some of these games, go check out, what is it? Downloading the Epic app. They give you a free game, possibly 2 of them every Thursday. And that's where I picked up a lot of these. I bought several, but a lot of them have been free. Alright, we're adding our peppers as well. Oh, for those that's coming in, this is a little recipe that I picked up. It's very simple, very tasty. It's a little one-pot recipe that you can do very inexpensively. Make a lot of it. And do it on like a weeknight when you're busy. Kind of an old school one. We're back in, I think, 50s or 60s. Hey, Slushy, welcome in. Hello. Oh, we got a hydrate. Okay. It is very warm in here still. I opened up the house curtains and turned on the fans. It's still about 84 in here. I guess that's about 28 for our Canadian and European friends. Kitchen's always hot, right? You have poutine. Hey, Zephyr, welcome in as well. Since we're only simmering stuff, can somebody give Zephyr a shout out as well? And Dio, if you're there, get Jindal because he never does. I gotta keep an eye on the stove here.
Can we jump in? We can. Ooh, hang on.
He is taking it seriously.
There we go.
Oh, wow.
Bach Jindal. Now, Jindal's always here, has been for a couple of years now.
Perfect timing.
So,
Oh, wow.
if y'all can,
Okay, the bomb did
spare
go
an
off,
extra
that was
follow
awesome.
for it. Been a very good friend, and I appreciate it. He's Bach man up in VR today. That's true. I don't get to do that very often, and I've got that frying pan. Oh no. Really? Oh my goodness. One of my goals lately has been to clean out the freezers because I've had some stuff in here for quite a while. And I found out some things. Oh, okay. I bought some Cornish game hens last year, towards the end of the year. Apparently they're still okay. Best used if by 2024, so I guess I'll put them back. I was gonna have a little cooking run with Ruru. Thanksgiving came along. They had problems. Weather. So we didn't get a chance to do it. So I guess I'll do them this year. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on it. The chicken's letting go of all of its moisture now. The reason I didn't dump the peppers in immediately is because that chicken was still partially frozen. I don't know why, because I put it in the refrigerator 2 days ago. Axel, hello. How are you all doing? Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh, thank you, Jindal. How are you all doing today?
Don't push that. No. Firecat, just leave the banana thing alone. That's Red's bonus kick right now with bananas. Don't no. Don't encourage it. Please. Please don't encourage it. It only makes it worse.
Someone clipped you fucking at me? Really? Interesting. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much. If you haven't been here before, this is our weekly cooking stream. I've been working on Saturday usually, but because of a few things and events with our previous team members like Axel here, I had to postpone it until today, so y'all get the extra benefit. Yeah, it did pick a good one, didn't it? So for those just coming in, I'm that oddball that likes to cook once a week, but I do also play games here too. You played that rhythm game in VRC? Oh, okay. Okay. I tried it a little bit, but honestly, after 4.5 hours of Beat Saber on Friday, my arms started cramping up, so I quit. I quit after just a few minutes. So what we've got here right now is I'm working on kind of a easy weeknight kind of chicken dish here. We've got chicken, peppers, a little bit of soup, and some pasta. We're going to mix all that in here in just a minute. I also made some classic French potato and leek soup, which is already finished. So you're about halfway through the recipe run today. But this one's pretty easy. All right, chicken should be done. We're going to go ahead and mix in all of our other stuff. So the chicken, our pasta goes in last. Everything else goes in now. All right, here we go. We are going to use these cans of cream of chicken soup. Again, it's kind of an old school thing. Try not to make too much of a mess. This is something very easy. And as soon as I get a chance to taste test it, I'll let you all know. This uses 2 cans. Technically, according to the instructions, this is not enough because the can sizes have changed. Our milk here. This is 2%. And we got 2 cups of peas as well. Well, that's some color. Alright, this is still set fairly high, so it's going to take a minute, but it will heat back up. Oh, slushy. That's about 3 hours from now, but thank you. Now, as soon as we get that back up to a simmer, we're going to add in our cheese here slowly. This is grated Parmesan, not the pizza stuff that you get for $2. This is the decent cheese. Not the best, but it is decent. Because of how thick this is, be careful about getting it boiling. You don't want to do that. It'll start splattering everywhere. This is fairly thick. I did taste the soup. The soup is just wonderful. It is a French dish. I'll show you all that here as soon as we switch back over. We've actually got one more dish today, but I don't think I honestly can fix it because I don't have it's too much. But we'll see. We might try a few tornado eggs. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure that just peaked up a pair of lion ears. All right, starting to get little bubbles. Almost up to 10. Remember, take your time. I'm not cooking for 17 people in a restaurant. I would prefer to get it right. Rather than get it done fast. And for those that came yesterday, I really appreciated seeing you. And those that didn't hear about it, apparently there were quite a few and they wanted to come. I am sorry about that. We tried to get it out, but we can't tell everybody. There's no way. We'll send out notification when the Discord is ready. If you want to, you can add some chili to this. I personally am going to, but I don't want it to be spicy. I just want it to be noticeable. You gotta learn for yourself what that is. For me, it's a little stronger than it is for most. Oh, for anybody new coming in, especially from either raid, we do. No, this is not chicken noodle soup, but it's pretty similar, isn't it? It's just a bow tie dinner. I've got a whole set of bow ties over here, big box full. So it's more of like a creamy bake than anything else. Yeah, that's true. Jindal's right. I've done that. Doing chicken noodle, you have to basically boil the whole chicken and create the stock. I might do that come Thanksgiving time. We'll see. I'm not one to make things like giant turkeys and things like that because literally there's no one to eat it. I can't eat it. All right, there we go. We've got a little bit of a simmer going on. It's starting to thicken up a little bit. If it gets a little too thick, you can add a little bit more milk to it. We're just going to start incorporating in our cheese. Just a little bit at a time. All of these things can be adjusted easily. Just don't forget, we actually just used 2 cans of condensed soup, so we need to let that cook for a couple minutes. This consistency is pretty thick. I've never tried this recipe. This is a new one. I will be posting it. This is one very similar to something that my mom would have made. Yeah, winter's good for that. So Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. We got a lot of pasta here. This is gonna fill up the whole pot. I really don't think I can do that third recipe today. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and start adding in our pasta too. Stick. Sure enough, it's gonna stick. Dang it. Rinse it off too. It's not been my day, has it? Oh well. It'll be fine. Look at all that. 2 pots this full. Didn't take long at all, did it? Hey, Koopa! Wish your kid cuisine looked that good. Hey, listen. Other than the pasta sticking, that one didn't take very long, and it only took 1 pot. How you doing, Koopa? All right. I'm curious to try something, and I'm going to do it. I would start our third dish today, but the third dish is just as much volume as these two. So I am not going to do that today. I'm having to make an executive decision. Our mostly frozen chicken is just going to have to stay mostly frozen and go right back into the freezer. Hand washed here. Couple things not behaving today. Alright, so let's come on back over here. No, I'm sorry. There is one more thing. I'm curious to try something. So y'all are going to see me experiment. Set this over here. Bring our new pan over here. I've never tried this before. Jindal, if you're there, have you done this? Hey, Aquos, welcome in. This is not a virgin pan. I've already cooked eggs and hash browns and bacon and a couple other things in it yesterday. But it's so slick. It's so slick. How we doing, Aquos? It's so slick that when I went to wash it, everything just fell right off. Hey, Black Wolf, welcome in. Hello.
Emotional damage.
All right, so I've got 2 eggs here. I am going to put a light coat of oil on this pan, but very light. We're going to do something that I've had to do a few times with our black iron. See, look at that. Oil doesn't even stick to it. One of the things I've seen done dozens of times is something called tornado eggs. These are done generally in Japan as part of a breakfast and served over rice, fried rice usually. But it seems to vary. But the technique to making them is a trick. I'm trying to figure that trick out. I've got a couple of eggs here. We're going to try it. We get the temperature up, but just up to about 4. Nothing heavy. You're hungry, that's why you're here. You want the pasta? You're welcome to come get it. You absolutely know where it is. This technique requires the use of chopsticks. I've absolutely watched this done dozens of times. I've absolutely tried it 0 times. Here we go. $30 won't get you here? Well, no, it probably won't. Especially not in what you're driving now. The other car it might have made it, but what happened to the other one anyway? I didn't actually see what happened to it. I just saw that you sold it. Yeah. For my Super Beast, which gets like 80. Alright, we've got a nice even heat here. So here we go. Can we do it? I don't know. I want it to be thin. Oh boy. I'm already feeling some anxiety on this one. I don't want to do this. We're gonna... Oh, absolutely not. That ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to loosen it up a little bit. Oh, I see. It's got to cook a little more. It's probably too cold. I already have the suit. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to make tornado eggs here in just a second. I'm going to let it solidify a little more first. And then loosen it up. I think I waited too long. We'll see. No, that ain't gonna work. Oh well. Well, let's at least see how well it doesn't stick. Oh, that absolutely is not sticking. Came out perfect though. All right, let's get plated up so we can get out of here. All right. Oh boy, let's not leave that there. Y'all don't need to see that. Okay, for our soup today, we have our potato leek, our classic French. The color and consistency is just perfect. I have tasted this. It has a nice, I won't say strong, but it is noticeable, very noticeable. Lick that pan clean. Flat surface is better, yeah. I'll have to watch and see how they do it again and actually pay attention this time. So we've got some fresh chives for this. The fact that it is exactly 50-50 potatoes and leeks makes it very interesting. I'm going to add a little pepper, just a dust. And then our easy pasta recipe for today. Very simple. little less chicken. This would be very good for saving some money too. Very easy. For me, I absolutely would do this. And I am doing this because I'm going to be eating this for dinner. A little bit of chili flake. And again, a little bit of pepper. And that looks divine to me. So I'm trying not to overload everything. Hey, Cactus, welcome in. Boyard kitty. So for today, just the roundup, I guess. I spent about $60 or so. Getting the pasta and everything. Now I already had the chicken, so that's a given. But everything for the soup and the veggies for this, I did have to buy. But we've got approximately about a gallon of soup. 60. Is the closed captioning working, Aqua? I'm curious because I try to make sure it's on, especially just for you. I want to make sure that it's working properly. It isn't. Okay, I'll have to check that. I want to make sure it works for everybody. You saw how much pasta we had. I've still got almost a full pot here. It's more my microphone covers. Oh, okay. For the soup, it's about 3/4 of that. So for $60, that is definitely good. No, I'm not putting it on the floor, Ben. How are you doing? Welcome in. Oh, you and the floor thing. In any case, this was not too bad. You only really need about 2 or 3 potatoes. You need 2 leeks, a little bit of spices here and there, and a blender. That's really all it took. Gonna make pretzels today and realize that you have no yeast? Yeah. Use the bread machine yeast if you get it. The jars are a little cheaper and there's a lot more there. Our pasta, we had, 1 box of pasta. We had 2 chicken breasts. A couple of cups of frozen peas out of a bag, which had about, I think it was about 2 pounds. A little bit of spice and a little bit of this and that. And, we did fairly well. I'll be able to eat all week on this. Of course, I am going to fix a couple more eggs and maybe some biscuits or something. But I'll do that. I'll do that here after the fact. I've done that on stream like 10 times. You all don't need to sit for that. In any case, let me send you all on here. Let me find somebody online. For those, again, I guess I'll finish up with some closing announcements. For those that missed the meetup yesterday, I'm sorry. We did try to make sure that everybody knew, but there's only so much reach that we have. You're heading out shortly? Okay. We are going to at least make a temporary setup so that you all can reconnect with your friends and get contact information. It may stay up for a while longer, but we're not going to make that a permanent thing. But we are going to do that to help you out because it was unfair that it was ripped away from you the way that it was. we're working on another project. The other project will be very slow. It's probably going to take a few months. But for those that are interested at the time, we will probably invite everybody slowly into it. I really appreciate all the support over the last couple of years. I've been working on this stream since 2020. I'm a little over 3 years now, working on 4. It's almost 4 years. So I really appreciate everybody coming in. It does take me a while to build up. I'm not on all the time. So I really appreciate everybody that's here and everybody that follows and everybody that supports the stream. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for things like that. I'm perfectly fine with that. So never feel guilty about it. If you all want to raid, I love having raids and having people come in. I just want to make sure that everybody has a better chance at life than I did. So, with that, let's go ahead and start setting up to get out. Please tell me I'm logged in. I am logged in. Okay, and there's hardly anybody on. Okay. But we do have one good friend here who's going to be helping out. Make sure I spell that right. I've got 2 people on my list, Jindal. 2. That's it. It is a holiday. There is a FurCon going on. A lot of our friends are out. So we're going to head on over and say hi to Ramia. Ramia has been a good friend of the stream as well, and she's actually volunteering to help do some upgrades here a little bit later. So I'm going to probably take advantage of that and see what we can do. She's got some good ideas. As for now, I don't know if follow folks that I don't know and meet new folks. But I do want to thank the Kiko Mori for following today. And Wittick and Axel, thank you so much for the raids as well. Really appreciate it, and I really love having everybody come in. Tovin, Jindal, Dio, Aquos, everybody that always helps to keep the stream going. It is difficult to do this. Sometimes I can't see what's going on. As for a raid message, we'll use our default one. If it'll give me my own emotes. If you have my emotes, you're welcome to use them. If you don't, you're welcome to use whatever you got. Oh, hello. Windows, please. So if you'd like to get a copy of it. Oh gosh, we're out.